**T. Wang Ran jolted awake, drenched in cold sweat. His chest rose and fell rapidly, his breath uneven. Was that a dream? His hands trembled as he touched his face and looked around. No, this wasn't a dream. This was his bedroom. The walls were still intact. The shelves were still standing. The light from the sun streamed through the curtains. Everything was as it used to be a year ago. A year ago, the outbreak, Wong Ren muttered, fumbling for his phone. The screen lit up. Date? August 14th, the first day of the apocalypse. He wasn't dreaming. He had really transmigrated, gone back in time to the very day the zombie virus first spread uncontrollably. He exhaled sharply, tension leaving his shoulders. He was alive. Somehow, fate had given him another chance. My house, it collapsed during the second week. Wong Ren quickly got up and began pacing. He wasn't sure how he'd been thrown back a year in time, but it didn't matter. What mattered was that he remembered exactly what would happen next. He had only hours before the chaos began. Going outside was suicide, not just because of zombies, but also the unhinged, desperate people who'd be looting and murdering by nightfall. He had to stay in, bunker down, and survive the first week. That was when things were the worst and the most unpredictable. He dragged his wardrobe and TV cabinet against the front door. I've got enough instant noodles to last a week. Could use more Coke, though. He glanced at the nearly empty carton. Just one box left. Not ideal, but it would do. After barricading the door, Wong Ran booted up his computer and began downloading everything he could. Movies, games, ebooks, even a few premium videos for long nights ahead. He knew power and internet would go down within a week. Better to enjoy life now, and maybe barter those files later. In the apocalypse, an iPad full of entertainment was worth its weight in gold. When everything was ready, Wong Ran sat back and logged into League of Legends. Surprisingly, the lobbies were still up, though painfully slow to queue. After finally getting into a match, his team's Ezreal typed in chat, "Trey, my cousin just got bit by his dad. I gotta go." No one flamed him. Everyone just understood. Wong Ren chuckled bitterly. Even zombies couldn't stop parents from interrupting games. As night fell, the servers went quiet. No more players. Only AI bots remained. It wasn't worth playing. Instead, Wong Ren sat in the dim glow of his monitor and began making plans. The first week would be pure chaos. Humanity would lose 90% of its population in a matter of days. But after that, the real survivors would rise. There'd be food, water, even temporary peace. But there would also be mutations. Zombies would evolve, grow faster, smarter. Some could tear through reinforced doors. Some became immune to normal weapons. And yet, there would be hope. The appearance of awakened, humans gifted with supernatural powers would shift the tide. Survivor camps would rise. Fortresses would form, and humanity would claw its way back from the brink. Wong Ran, however, had been just a regular guy. A lone wolf who'd barely scraped by for a year before being eaten alive. Not this time. This time, I'm going to find a proper survivor base. Somewhere with Awakened. I'm not dying again. He slurped his instant noodles, vowing not to make the same mistakes. Outside, the city dimmed. Skyscrapers once glowing with life now stood dark and lifeless. Only a few windows were still lit. He leaned by the window, sipping his last cold soda and watching the end of the world creep in. Then, movement. He spotted light in an apartment across the street, 10th floor. The building was close, just across a narrow alley. Through his binoculars, he saw her. A girl. Beautiful long legs, pale skin, barely clothed, and frantically waving at him. She held up a sheet of paper. "Help me." Wong Ran blinked. He squinted at the sea of blood-covered zombies roaming beneath them. Help her? In that mess? I'm not some simp protagonist. She held up another sign. "I'm starving." Wong Ran scratched his head. So she didn't have food. Probably a typical takeout eater. She wouldn't last long. He sighed, then looked over at his stockpile of noodles. "I've got too much anyway." The real question was, how the hell was he going to get food across to her? The two buildings were meters apart. The streets below were crawling with zombies. He needed a plan, but first, he needed to make sure this wasn't a trap. Because in the apocalypse, sometimes the zombies weren't the worst monsters out there. After a moment of hesitation, Wong Ran gritted his teeth and taped a pack of instant noodles to a can of Coke. With the cola to weigh it down, the trajectory should be decent. He recalled a line from Drawing Sword. Li Yunlong had once said that even a woman could hurl a grenade 30 meters. Wang Ran had spent years training his right arm, mostly through specialized wrist exercises. That had to count for something. He stepped back, stretched his shoulders, took a deep breath. Run. Focus. Throw. The improvised care package shot through the air like a makeshift cannonball, whistling toward the opposite building. Smack. Direct hit. Right in the long-legged beauty's face. She crumpled like a marionette with its strings cut. *T. Wong Ran froze, his fingers still in mid-air from the throw. She's not dead, right? He winced. He'd killed before during the apocalypse. Out of necessity, but this girl? She just wanted food, and she was kind of cute. Maybe she's just unconscious? He consoled himself. Even if he wanted to check on her, it was impossible right now. The streets were still crawling with zombies. Going out at night would be a one-way ticket to death. Besides, he hadn't even backed up all his welfare content. Yet, hundreds of scripts, hours of anime, and more blessing of the eyes content than a lonely soul could need. He sat back at his computer and played around for a bit before heading to bed. Most people were sleepless on the first night of the apocalypse. Wang Ran, on the other hand, slept like a baby. 6 a.m. Wang Ran's eyes snapped open. Still alive. Still in his bed. Still not a dream. He yawned and stretched, then picked up his binoculars and peered across to the opposite building. The lights were still on. The long-legged girl was still there, flat on the floor. Oops. Guilt pinched his chest. But what could he do? The roads were teeming with the undead. And besides, he hadn't even finished backing up the rest of his precious educational resources. Ding, ding, a soft chime. All downloads complete. Turns out, Apocalypse-era Wi-Fi bandwidth was phenomenal when 90% of the population was offline. All right, can't just leave her there. He packed his hiking bag with essentials, noodles, Coke, water, his backup drive, and his iPad, his survival kit for the new world. Next came protection. He taped a thick magazine to his forearms, strong enough to resist bites, but light enough to not hinder movement. For weapons, he grabbed what he had, a short-handled hammer and a sturdy frying pan. Primitive but deadly. And finally, an alarm clock. This would be his trump card. Mission: get to the girl. Wang Ran dragged the cabinet from his front door and peeked through the peephole. The hallway was clear. Good. Taking the elevator was out of the question. If the doors opened to a pack of zombies, he'd be toast. But he had a plan. Wang Ran placed the alarm clock inside the elevator, set for 5 minutes, and hit the button to send it to the first floor. The ringing alarm would lure the zombies away from the lobby, giving him a small window to escape through the stairs. 5 minutes to reach the ground floor. Let's go. He entered the stairwell, gripping his pan and hammer tightly. Though it was daylight, the stairs were dim, narrow, and cold. Shadows pooled in the corners. 11th floor. 5 minutes. If he made it in time, he'd have a clean escape. But he couldn't afford mistakes. Wang Ran moved swiftly but cautiously, checking every corner before advancing. By the time he reached the 3rd floor, only 3 minutes had passed. Perfect. Then, a pale, bloody face flashed past the window. The zombie hadn't noticed him yet. He held his breath, crept past, and clang! The edge of his pan scraped the wall. Crap! The door burst open with a slam. A fresh zombie, barely turned, charged at him, bloody jaws open wide. Wang Ran pivoted and swung his hammer with all his might. Thud! The hammer dented its forehead, but didn't finish the job. Roar! The zombie screeched, now fully enraged. But Wang Ran was no amateur. He sidestepped with practiced ease, letting the zombie crash into the wall, then stomped on its spine and drove the hammer into the back of its head. Crack! Brain splattered. The creature went limp. Silence. But not for long. The commotion had stirred the others. Wang Ran could hear footsteps, slow, heavy, hungry, from the floors above. No time to waste. He dashed downward, taking 2 stairs at a time. By the time he reached the first floor stairwell, 7 or 8 zombies were wandering the lobby outside. There was no going out yet. He crouched by the door, hammer raised, heart racing. Tick, tick. He waited for the alarm to sound and prayed it would be enough.
Hey, welcome to Firescale Audiobooks. If you enjoy our audiobooks, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, feel free to share your review in the comments section below.
Pounced on by a female zombie. Upstairs, the noises of the zombies seemed to have stopped on the 3rd floor. There were at least 3 of them. Even Wang Ran, who had a lot of experience, would find it hard to deal with 3 zombies at the same time in the narrow stairwell. Therefore, he only had one chance. He was waiting for the alarm to draw the zombies away from the hall. Then he would rush out. Time passed by. Ring, ring, ring. The alarm clock rang on time. But something was wrong. The sound did not come from the elevator on the 1st floor. It was upstairs. It seemed to be on the 3rd floor. King. Wong Ren really wanted to curse his father. Which blind idiot pressed the elevator button? Did some zombie press it? Wasn't this a King trap for him? He didn't have much time to think about it. All the zombies in the lobby had turned to the stairs. It seemed that all the zombies in the building would be attracted to the 3rd floor. There was no way to go to the hall. Wong Ran decisively chose the underground parking lot, even though there were many uncertainties. But in this situation, he would die if he remained where he was. Just as Wong Ran made it down half a floor, the stairs on the 1st floor were broken through by a group of crazy zombies. They roared and ran upstairs. Wong Ran huddled up in the corner and did not say anything. However, 2 zombies still chose to go downstairs for no reason. Mother Cur. Wong Ran cursed in his heart before he quickly rushed down the garage. In the garage, the fluorescent lamps were constantly flashing. The roars rose and fell. It was obvious that zombies were all over the place. There was no time to think. Wong Ran grabbed a stone from the ground and threw it at a Maybach in the distance. He quickly got into the car next to him. The alarm instantly sounded. The 2 zombies that followed them out of the stairwell and the ones that were hiding in the corner of the garage roared and pounced on the Maybach. Wong Ran counted the number of feet under the car. There were more than 10 pairs of feet. It was a good thing he had not run out rashly. While the zombies surrounded the Maybach, Wong Ran slipped out from beneath the car and quietly ran to another building. The 2 apartments were in the same neighborhood, and their underground parking lots were connected. Fortunately, they forced me underground. It might have been more dangerous above ground. Wong Ran successfully arrived at the stairwell of the building next door. Going up was more tiring than going down. Wong Ran was very experienced. He would take a short break every 2 levels to catch his breath. Otherwise, he might not even have the strength to fight against zombies. Soon, Wong Ran arrived at the 10th floor where the long-legged young lady was. Right here, it should be 1003. Wong Ran deduced the room number of the long-legged young lady and slowly pushed open the door of the stairwell. The door was half open when it suddenly got stuck. This feeling of resistance. Wong Ran could immediately tell what was lying behind the door. Wong Ran clenched a small hammer and slowly pushed the door with more force. Fortunately, the guy behind the door didn't react. Wong Ran successfully arrived at the corridor. On the ground was the body of an old woman. It seemed that something had smashed her head after she turned into a zombie. There are zombies on this floor. Wong Ran could not help but worry about the long-legged young lady. Although the young lady did not seem to be lacking in nutrition, it was still a little difficult for a girl to deal with zombies. Wong Ran made his way to the door of room 1003. The bloodstains on the ground gave Wong Ran a bad feeling. However, since he was already here, he still had to go in and take a look. Wong Ran rummaged through the shoe rack next to him, lifted the mat on the floor, and found key. As expected, everyone kept spare keys there. This saved him the trouble of smashing the door. Wong Ran gently opened the door and entered the long-legged young lady's house. The living room was empty. No one was there. On the dining table, there was an open pack of instant noodles and a half-drunk Coke. It seemed that the long-legged young lady had finally woken up. Then the fact that he had not killed a person with that one hit. As he thought of this, the guilt in Wong Ran's heart reduced a lot. The sound of water, Wong Ren could vaguely hear the sound of water flowing in a room. Don't tell me. Someone's taking a bath? Wong Ren suddenly froze. If the other party saw him holding a weapon and broke in, it would be really difficult to explain himself, especially when she was taking a shower. He would most likely be treated as a pervert. It was very awkward. Just as Wong Ran was hesitating on how to explain himself, a snow-white hand reached out of the bathroom. Immediately after, another hand appeared. And then, long black hair, caca. A naked female zombie slowly crawled out of the bathroom. F***. She really turned into a zombie. Wong Ran was stunned. Although the sight of a naked female body made his heart beat faster, she was still a zombie. He hadn't fallen to the point where he would take advantage of female zombies. Wong Ran clutched the small hammer in his hand and was ready to finish her off. Save me. The long-legged female zombie didn't seem to have completely lost her consciousness. She raised her head and asked Wong Ran for help. At the same time, a gust of wind blew in from the window. It was a piece of paper with the words, "Save me." The A4 paper floated from the table and landed beside the long-legged female zombie. Wong Ran recalled the purpose of his visit. He was here to save someone. But how could he save her when she had been bitten by a zombie? Even after a year, no one ever developed an antidote to the zombie virus. Although the long-legged young lady still retained some of her awareness, it wouldn't be long before she became a complete zombie. While Wong Ran was hesitating, the female zombie lying on the ground suddenly trembled. Then, she suddenly leaped high into the air and pounced on Wong Ran. F***, I was too careless. Wong Ran was shocked. He had let his guard down for a moment, and the other party succumbed to her zombified state and pounced on him. This pounce was very swift and violent, and Wong Ran had no time to react. Wong Ran was thrown to the ground, and the back of his head even hit the stool hard. Kept up. Before Wong Ran lost his consciousness, he saw the long-legged female zombie open her mouth to bite him. After an unknown amount of time, Wong Ran woke up in a daze. He was covered with a blanket. Wait, there seemed to be someone under the blanket. Wong Ran was immediately wide awake. This can't be. Wong Ran took a deep breath. Isn't this the female zombie? F***. Wong Ran shrunk back as if he had been electrocuted. Wasn't this the female zombie who was crawling on the ground just now? Why is she in bed? What was happening? Wong Ran immediately checked himself. Fortunately, everything that should be there was there and not eaten. There was only a bite mark on his shoulder, and he was bleeding a little. Wong Ran's brain felt like it was about to explode. Shoulder. The female zombie must have bitten him. But why wasn't he infected? And this female zombie, she actually looked quite good. Her snow-white face actually had a little blush. She did not look like a zombie. Besides, how could there be such a cute zombie? Her face was impeccable, and her figure was also this shit. What am I thinking? You actually have such thoughts about a zombie. Wong Ran felt a little ashamed. At that moment, the long-legged female zombie crawled out of the blanket. Wong Ran immediately picked up the pan beside him and got into a defensive position. You, hello. The female zombie tilted her head and looked at Wong Ran in a daze. Wong Ran's body trembled. It could speak? Was she not a zombie? Then, the way she crawled out of the bathroom. Could it be cosplay? This was too awesome. No. Her pupils were white before, he said. That is indeed a sign of zombification. And now, Wong Ran looked at the long-legged young lady who was a little silly in front of him. Her pupils were clearly black. Don't tell me. My blood can cure zombies. A shocking thought suddenly appeared in Wong Ran's mind. This was too exaggerated. He had to verify this. What's your situation now? Wong Ran asked directly. Me? I don't know either. I'm hungry. The long-legged young lady rubbed her stomach. Wong Ran's gaze naturally fell on the long-legged young lady. You'd better put on your clothes first. Wong Ran swallowed his saliva. This woman was a handful. With every second that passed, Wong Ran felt his morals caving away. Seeing that the long-legged young lady had gone to put on her clothes, Wong Ran quickly took his clothes. When he was putting on his clothes, Wang Ran had a strange feeling. His waist was extremely sore. Could this be the after effect of being bitten by a zombie? Wang Ran was a little confused. Soon, the long-legged young lady put on her clothes and walked over. Come, come, come. Tell me what's going on with you. What just happened? Wang Ran and the long-legged young lady sat opposite each other and began a serious discussion. I don't know what's going on with me. I only know that I was very hungry, so I've been eating and eating like crazy. After that, your shoulders stopped bleeding, so I went to other places to find something to eat, the long-legged young lady said, a little embarrassed. Wang Ran suddenly felt a chill down his spine. Didn't zombies eat humans? Why did it change? Wang Ran was shocked and a little scared. So, are you still a zombie? Wang Ran asked. I don't know. I just feel that I'm especially hungry right now. The long-legged young lady rubbed her stomach. Stop with your ridiculous thoughts. Wang Ran immediately stopped him. Right now, it was more important to figure out the situation. Do you still remember who you are? Do you still remember what happened before? Wang Ran continued to ask. I'm Su Xiaoyu. I'm an English teacher. I remember asking you for help from the opposite building, but I seem to have been knocked unconscious by something you threw at me. I woke up and started eating when I heard some movement outside the door. I opened the door and was attacked by the old lady on the other side of the door. Then I want to go to the bathroom to take a shower and wash my wounds, but my body felt more and more uncomfortable. I don't know what happened after that. When I regained consciousness, I was eating and eating. As for my past memories, it's a little blurry. Su Xiaoyu answered with her head lowered. Wang Ran sighed. According to Su Xiaoyu's description, he had a rough idea of the situation. His blood seemed to be able to cure zombies. As for the extent of the healing, he still had to observe further. Can I take a look at your pulse? Wang Ran asked. Sure. Su Xiaoyu did not seem to reject Wang Ran at all and readily agreed to any of his requests. Wang Ran reached out and held Su Xiaoyu's fair and slender arm. 20 beats per minute, far lower than a normal human. Let me see your pupils. Wang Ran leaned forward. Su Xiaoyu's big eyes were really beautiful. If he kept staring at it, it would be easy for him to get lost in them. Wang Ran tried his best to keep himself awake. Soon, he noticed something unusual. Su Xiaoyu's black pupils had thin white lines. This was obviously not something a normal person should have. This meant that Su Xiaoyu was now in a state between a zombie and a human. This was an interesting discovery. Rumble. Their stomachs suddenly growled at the same time. I'll make something to eat first. Wang Ran took out 2 packets of instant noodles from his hiking bag. He wanted to add some eggs or something, but the refrigerator was empty. Sigh. Were all the beautiful women nowadays so poor at taking care of themselves? Wang Ran sighed and cooked a pot of fragrant instant noodles. I didn't find any bowls in your kitchen. Let's eat together. Wang Ran brought the pot to the dining table. Su Xiaoyu felt nauseated the moment she leaned over. No, I can't eat this, Su Xiaoyu said, covering her nose. Wang Ran was stunned. Could it be that Su Xiaoyu could not eat human food in her current state? If that was the case, could she only rely on his own blood? That won't do. He will be sucked dry. Restrain yourself. Helplessly, Wang Ran could only cut his finger and put in front of Su Xiaoyu. Not too much. Don't suck me dry, Wang Ran reminded her. Su Xiaoyu nodded and began to suck on his fingers. Her face was full of satisfaction. Wang Ran retracted his hand when he estimated that around 20 cubic centimeters of his blood had been sucked. How long am I going to last like this? I'll be anemic or even die from blood loss. Wang Ran sighed and started eating his instant noodles. After the meal, Wang Ran sat on the sofa and began to think about his next plan. Su Xiaoyu, on the other hand, was very clingy to Wang Ran. She sat directly next to him and kept leaning toward Wang Ran. When you were a human, were you this bold and unrestrained? Wang Ran had been single for a long time, so he was not used to Su Xiaoyu's actions. I don't know either. I just feel like I really want to get close to you. Su Xiaoyu blinked her big eyes and said innocently, could it be that after drinking my blood, you developed a reliance on me? Or should I say, you just get close to me and then find a chance to eat me? Wang Ran did not dare to think further. At the moment, he still had to prepare for the plan to move to the supermarket warehouse in a few days. Xiaoyu, do you have anything in your house that's suitable to be used as a weapon? Wang Ran asked. Although his hammer was still capable, its reach was far too limited. The pan had the same problem. If he were to fight with zombies, he would easily be surrounded. Although he knew he wouldn't be infected if he was bitten by zombies, one could be bitten to death. It was important to have an equally powerful weapon. There were 2 intersections from here to the supermarket. A fierce battle was inevitable along the way. Furthermore, he had to bring a weak girl like Su Xiaoyu with him. If he didn't have a powerful weapon, it was easy for him to die halfway. Weapon? Don't think I have any at home. I know that Grandpa's son, who lives opposite us, seems to be a collector. He has some swords and other things in his house, Su Xiaoyu said, patting her head. The opposite unit? All right, you can stay at home. I'll go take a look. Wong Ren looked at the sky outside the window. It was already starting to turn dark. It was too dangerous to act at night, so it was better to settle it now. No, I want to follow you. Su Xiaoyu grabbed Wang Ran's arm and refused to let go. Wang Ran sighed. Is he entangled with a female zombie? Fortunately, she was a female zombie with long legs and big breasts. Otherwise, he didn't even dare to think about it. Then follow behind me obediently. If there's any danger, run home immediately, understood? Wang Ran instructed. Yes, master. Su Xiaoyu nodded obediently. The word master made Wang Ran, who was still single, shiver. It was really an irresistible title. However, he had only known Su Xiaoyu for less than a day, and she was already calling him master? Could it be due to his blood? Let's not think about this for now. Wang Ran armed himself again and opened the door quietly with Su Xiaoyu. The body of the middle-aged woman at the door was still lying on the ground. She lived just next door. She might have a key on her. Su Xiaoyu reminded him. Wang Ran nodded. He searched the middle-aged woman's body for a while and found the key. With the key, there was no need to force the door open. The level of danger had been greatly reduced. Wang Ran carefully opened the door with the key. It was quiet inside, without a single sound. However, since the woman had turned into a zombie, it meant that there had to be something wrong with her family. Wang Ran casually took an apple from the side table and threw it on the floor. If there were zombies in the room, they would be attracted by the sound of the collision. This was also the experience that Wang Ran had honed after surviving in the apocalypse for a year. More than 10 seconds passed, and there was no movement. Wang Ran's anxious heart slowly calmed down. Be careful and keep quiet. After Wang Ran reminded Su Xiaoyu, he slowly walked into the living room. The structure of the house was symmetrical to Su Xiaoyu's house, with 2 bedrooms and 1 living room. The bedroom and study doors were closed. Su Xiaoyu was about to open the door when Wang Ran immediately stopped her. It was especially easy for danger to appear behind such a closed door. Wang Ran held his breath and slowly pressed the doorknob. Creak! The aged doorknob let out an ear-piercing sound. Roar! The roars of zombies sounded from inside the room. There are indeed zombies inside. Wang Ran pushed the door open with the pan in front of him. A white-haired male zombie was tied tightly to a chair. Upon seeing Wang Ran, the white-haired zombie struggled with all his might. His blood-stained mouth opened and closed. She must have tied him up, but got bitten in the process. Wang Ran did not feel any sympathy or sadness. After living in the post-apocalyptic world for a year, he had encountered all kinds of situations. Let's go and find this old man's collection. Wang Ran had not forgotten the purpose of this trip. Opposite the bedroom was the study, which should be the old man's collection room. After carefully opening the door, Wang Ran's eyes lit up. The room was filled with swords. This bronze sword, if it's the real deal, then it's quite valuable. It's a pity that it'll be useless in a fight. This sword hasn't been sharpened. No, this one, it's too ugly. After looking around, Wang Ran's gaze fell on a Tang-era sword. This sword looked a little like a samurai sword. It shouldn't be an antique, but a modern imitation. Wang Ran held the Tang sword in his hand. It's sharp and heavy to the touch. Perfect. Wang Ran was very satisfied with this Tang sword. If it was well maintained, it could kill at least a few hundred zombies. Wang Ran remembered that before he transmigrated, he had picked up a katana from a cosplaying zombie. However, after killing a few zombies, the blade was damaged. In terms of durability, this sword should hold up better. At that moment, the sound of a collision suddenly came from the bedroom opposite. Not good. The zombie broke free. Wong Ren quickly reacted. "Xiaoyu, hide behind me!" Wong Ren shouted. Xiaoyu was at the door of the study. The zombie was only 2 steps away from her. But a shocking scene happened. When the white-haired zombie came to Su Xiaoyu, it did not attack her. Instead, it tried to squeeze into the study. Unawakened? The zombie is treating Xiaoyu as one of his own, so he didn't attack her. Wang Ran quickly came to a conclusion. This was a huge discovery. If Su Xiaoyu really had such a characteristic, it would be much easier to survive in the apocalypse. Su Xiaoyu could easily enter and exit places with a lot of zombies. It was much easier to collect resources. However, he had to deal with this white-haired zombie first. "Xiaoyu, move aside. I'll deal with him." Wang Ran held the Tang sword in his hand. It was a good opportunity to practice his skills. Su Xiaoyu found the old zombie annoying and threw a slap at him. The white-haired zombie's head spun a full 360 degrees and rolled to the ground. The body soon followed. King Hell. Wang Ran was stunned. Su Xiaoyu looked so delicate, but she was actually this strong? Wang Ran knew that he would not be able to send a zombie's head flying with a single slap. Even a professional boxer wouldn't be able to send a zombie's head flying with one punch. Had Su Xiaoyu retained the intelligence of a human, but gained the strength of a zombie? "Xiaoyu, come, try and see if you can break this." Wang Ran handed the bronze sword to Su Xiaoyu. "Gotcha!" Su Xiaoyu easily broke the bronze sword. "Try to punch the pan again." Wang Ran took out the frying pan again. Su Xiaoyu could tell that Wang Ran was paying attention on her and grew very excited. She used all her strength in this punch. Boom! There was a muffled sound. A fist mark was left on the pan. Gulp! Wang Ran swallowed his saliva. This strength. She was much stronger than ordinary zombies. Could Su Xiaoyu be a mutated zombie? In the post-apocalyptic world, there were powerful awakened humans and mutated zombies. Mutant zombies were much more powerful than ordinary zombies. If not for the awakened, humans would have been wiped out by the mutant zombies. If Su Xiaoyu was a mutated zombie, Wang Ran now had a strong personal bodyguard. Wouldn't that mean that he could do whatever he wanted in the apocalypse? "Master, my hand hurts." Su Xiaoyu's voice pulled Wang Ran back to reality. "Let me see." Wang Ran held up Su Xiaoyu's hand and looked at it carefully. Su Xiaoyu had used all her strength to throw the punch, so her fist must have been severely injured. He could not tell if there were any fractures, but the skin on her fist was broken. Wang Ran subconsciously picked up Su Xiaoyu's injured hand and put the wound in his mouth. Wang Ran's first reaction was to use his saliva to disinfect the wound. Su Xiaoyu's pale face suddenly turned red. Wang Ran's actions made her heart beat faster. Of course, it was only an increase from 20 to 30 beats per minute. After sucking on it for a while, Wang Ran finally realized that Su Xiaoyu was a zombie. Did zombies need to be disinfected like this? Wang Ran removed Su Xiaoyu's hand from his mouth. Wait! Wang Ran was shocked to find that the wound on Su Xiaoyu's hand had disappeared. Does my saliva have healing properties? I'm awakened? Wang Ran was stunned. After living in the apocalypse for a year, he never learned anything special about himself. After all, his excellent survival skills had allowed him to avoid many zombie encounters. For an entire year, Wang Ran got by without getting bitten by zombies. Who knew that he would have such an effect on zombies? The so-called awakened ones were humans who had mutated and possessed strength beyond ordinary people. The majority of awakened ones were combat type. For example, someone who had the strength to lift a car. For example, someone who could cover 100 meters in 7 seconds. There were also a subtype of awakened ones. Although they were not particularly powerful in combat, they also possessed some abilities that were beyond ordinary people. For example, some people had night vision, while others could hear sound from a kilometer away. Wang Ran had always hoped that he could become an awakened, even if he could not fight on the front lines. He never expected that fleeting dream to come true. Moreover, it seemed his abilities had some very heavy implications. From the looks of it, he had returned Su Xiaoyu to consciousness after biting him. If he could have a few more followers like Su Xiaoyu, he would not have to be afraid, even if he encountered mutated zombies and awakened ones. Wang Ran suddenly had the idea of building a huge zombie harem. Only female zombies. Master, can you return my hand to me? Su Xiaoyu asked, blushing. Ah, yes. Wang Ran realized that he was still holding Su Xiaoyu's hand. He had just only licked the back of her hand, and now he was holding on to it. It was indeed easy for one to overthink. Let's look for some food and then hurry back, Wang Ran ordered. Su Xiaoyu nodded obediently. The two of them started searching. It was a bountiful harvest. There was half a bag of rice, a few kilograms of fruits, some vegetables, and eggs. Although Su Xiaoyu did not need to eat, Wang Ran did. This amount of food should be enough to last them through the week. As for the instant noodles that Wang Ran had brought along with him, they could be kept for a long time, so he could save them for later. The two of them brought food and returned to Su Xiaoyu's house. The sky had also completely darkened. Master, will you tie me up when I sleep at night? Su Xiaoyu suddenly asked. Tie you up? Wang Ran suddenly thought of certain cultured scenes. Then he realized that Su Xiaoyu did not seem to be referring to that. Su Xiaoyu must have seen the old man being tied to the recliner. That's right. What if I lose consciousness again and attack you, Master? Su Xiaoyu said, tilting her head. That's a problem. Wang Ran touched his chin and nodded. It was not that he did not trust Su Xiaoyu, but he did not have a full understanding of her state and the limits of his own abilities. What if the effect of his blood on zombies was only temporary? Wouldn't he be bitten again in the middle of the night? What if Su Xiaoyu was, she could tear his jugular out? For safety's sake, it was better to tie her up. Wang Ran went to the next room and brought the rope over. How do I do this? Wang Ran did not have much experience, so he did not know where to start. Let's take a look at the teaching resources on the iPad. Wang Ran took out an iPad from his bag. The resources seemed to be in a small category. Su Xiaoyu went to Wang Ran's side and looked at it together. It did not take long for the two of them to start breathing rapidly. This rope skill, it was rather lewd, wasn't it? Too much. Master, why aren't those people wearing any clothes? Do I have to be tied up like this for it to work? Su Xiaoyu asked. Wang Ran was at a loss for words. He did not know if Su Xiaoyu was clueless about this kind of thing because she had become a zombie or if she was just a pure girl, even as a human. In any case, if he really tied her up like in the picture, there was absolutely no way Wang Ran would be able to go to bed. How about, I just tie you up like the old man next door? Wang Ran made his decision. Very quickly, Wang Ran tied Su Xiaoyu up. In order to prevent her from biting, he even stuffed a towel into her mouth. This way it should be safe. You sleep on the bed tonight. I'll sleep on the sofa. Wang Ran carried Su Xiaoyu to the bed and covered her with the blanket. Although Su Xiaoyu could not move, she welcomed the cozy warmth. The night was getting darker. Outside the window, roars of zombies and miserable screams of humans could be heard from time to time. The initial stage of the virus outbreak was that which separated the chaff from the wheat. Soon, the number of humans would decrease sharply, and zombies would gradually occupy the city. The true test of survival would soon begin. Wang Ran was already a veteran of such a scenario in a sense, so he was used to it. He quickly fell asleep. A few hours later, Su Xiaoyu's eyes shot open. She was hungry. Snap! The rope around Su Xiaoyu's body broke easily. After removing the towel from her mouth, Su Xiaoyu tiptoed to Wang Ran. Master, you're sleeping so soundly. He shouldn't be able to tell. The next morning, Wang Ran was woken up by a burst of fragrance. Su Xiaoyu was no longer there. There was only a smear of red on the bedsheet. Master, you're awake. Outside the bedroom door, Su Xiaoyu, who was wearing an apron, stuck her head out with a spatula in her hand. From the looks of it, she had gone to make breakfast for Wang Ran. You can cook. Wang Ran was a little surprised. I only know how to poach eggs. So, I made a poached egg with some instant noodles. Master, come and eat, Su Xiaoyu said with her head lowered. Wang Ran quickly put on his clothes and jumped off the bed. He had exercised for 3 hours the night before. His body was not only aching all over, but he was also famished. He had no choice. He had to prepare for encounters with powerful, mutated zombies. In his current state, he was no match to them. Wong Ren quickly cleaned up the breakfast. Su Xiaoyu, on the other hand, changed into a loose t-shirt and went to wash the pots. While looking at Su Xiaoyu's back, Wong Ren could not help but sigh. Why couldn't he find a girlfriend like her before the apocalypse? She was pretty, had a good figure, and was obedient and well-behaved. They had been within walking distance of each other, but they never had the chance to meet. Am I that much of a recluse? Wong Ren took out a cold can of Coke from the refrigerator and opened Su Xiaoyu's laptop. The internet was basically filled with discussions about the apocalypse. From the news on the internet, it was the same as what Wang Ran had experienced before he transmigrated. The virus spread very quickly. There was basically no time for anyone to prepare themselves. Those who were outdoors or on public transports never stood a chance to return home alive. The first week was a week of chaos. The number of humans was rapidly decreasing. Over the past 2 days alone, there had already been a large number of incidents of ordinary people killing each other. Shortages of any sort could cause people to fight over it. Everyone knew that the end of the world had really come. There were already posts like Doomsday Survival Manual on the internet. Wang Ran took a glance and saw that half of the content were somewhat relevant. After all, there had been a lot of zombie-related literature, movies, and animations in recent years. Many people were mentally prepared. What was even more outrageous was that someone had actually started to serialize the novel The End of the Zombie World in forums. There were quite a few top posts. In this situation, why had he not thought about the scarcity of the works of deceased artists and authors? He had to be better at this game of opportunity. In the end, Wang Ran found himself a map of the supermarket. This was a serious matter. From here to the supermarket, they had to pass 2 intersections. However, the real danger lay in the fact that densely populated residential areas surrounded these 2 intersections. There would definitely be some zombies in the supermarket. It would be a little difficult for Wang Ran and Su Xiaoyu to charge it on their own. Wang Ran pinched his chin and thought of a plan. At that moment, Su Xiaoyu, who had just finished washing up, came to the living room and snuggled up in Wang Ran's arms. Overdrinking gives you strength. After 2 hours of strict education, Wang Ran finally let Su Xiaoyu go. My waist seems to be a little sore. He made a mental note to see if there were any kidney tablets at the pharmacy later. That's right, master. I feel like I've become stronger today, Su Xiaoyu said as she leaned against Wang Ran. Stronger? Wang Ran was stunned. Su Xiaoyu had not drunk his blood since yesterday afternoon. It was only that one time. Could it be that his blood had even more hidden properties? Master, look. Su Xiaoyu took the pan with a fist mark. Boom! With one punch, she directly punched a hole through it. This time, Su Xiaoyu's hand was not injured at all. It was obvious that she had become stronger. My pan. Wang Ran first mourned for the frying pan. Then, Wang Ran realized that Su Xiaoyu had truly become stronger. It seemed that his ability was groundbreaking. Not only could it help the zombies regain their consciousness, but it could also make them stronger. The only drawback was that it was a little costly. It was a pity that this ability could only make zombies stronger, while he remained as weak as he was. This made Wang Ran a little depressed. It would be much more exhilarating to be able to depend on his own strength. Imagine holding a tang sword and killing zombies on the road, like he was cutting melons and vegetables. But now, he could only be the man hiding behind Su Xiaoyu. With Su Xiaoyu's current strength, he did not even have to take up time coming up with a plan. He would just force his way through. It was still the early stage of the apocalypse, and there were no mutated zombies yet. Wang Ran looked at the time. It was 11 in the afternoon. 2 in the evening, when the sun was at its hottest, was also when the zombies were the most lethargic. Since he could crush his way through, it was better to move as soon as possible. Xiaoyu, prepare some clothes. We're moving. Wang Ran rubbed Su Xiaoyu's head. I'll go wherever master goes. Su Xiaoyu nodded her head like a chicken pecking at rice. Wang Ran had a feeling that Su Xiaoyu had not only become stronger, but also seemed to be more obedient than yesterday. Could it be that this was also his ability? I'll keep an eye on her. Soon, Su Xiaoyu came out with a large suitcase. It had been stuffed full of clothes. Su Xiaoyu obviously had no intention of bringing any food with her. However, she really didn't need to eat. Soon, Wang Ran also filled up his mountaineering bag. In fact, the place they were going to next was filled with food and daily necessities. It was just a precaution to pack some of his own supplies along. Master, it's only 11:30 now. We still have more than 2 hours before we leave. Should we make good use of our free time? Su Xiaoyu rubbed her face against Wang Ran's chest. What are you thinking? Don't play around. Wang Ran said sternly. If he continued to exercise, his legs would turn to jelly, and he wouldn't be able to move. Su Xiaoyu stuck out her tongue. Ever since she found out that exercise could make her stronger, Su Xiaoyu had grown more enthusiastic about it. As for Wang Ran's body, he still seemed to be holding up. He had a few dark circles under his eyes, but he should be fine. By the way, do you have a car? Wang Ran asked. It would only take 1 minute to get to the supermarket if they drove, although it would create a train of zombies behind them. As long as they were fast enough and took a few detours, they should be able to shake them off. I have an electric bike, does that count? Su Xiaoyu asked. It'll leave us quite exposed. We could be caught by the zombies at any time. Wang Ran firmly rejected the idea. Right, when I was rummaging through the old man's house just now, I think I saw some car keys. Su Xiaoyu's eyes lit up. All right, let's go take another look. Wang Ran sometimes cursed his misfortune. As soon as the door was opened, 2 zombies suddenly rushed in. F***CK off. Wang Ran wanted to grab the Tang sword on the table, but he was already a step behind. Su Xiaoyu was quick to react. She flipped over the sofa and kicked the zombie in the chest. The zombie's chest caved in, and it stopped breathing. The zombie in the back was hit by the one in front and fell to the ground. We struggled to get up. A white light flashed. Wang Ran flicked the black blood off his blade and sheathed it. The zombie's head rolled to the ground a moment later. Good sword. Wang Ran nodded. It had turned out better than he had imagined. With this blade, he could even fight a dozen zombies in an open area. That's weird. Why were these 2 zombies blocking our door? Wang Ran kicked the corpse that was blocking his way. Master, have you forgotten? We made such a big scene last night. Su Xiaoyu's face was slightly red. Wang Ran was stunned for a moment before he understood what she meant. It had been loud enough for the zombies downstairs to hear. After all, Wang Ran had survived the apocalypse for a year, and he had been alone all the time. He had never had such an experience. It seemed that he would have to consider the issue of sound insulation and earthquake protection in the future. Xiaoyu, guard the stairs. I'll go get the car keys. Wang Ran ordered her. Yes, master. Su Xiaoyu nodded. Wang Ran walked out of the door and looked at the woman's body on the ground. Sigh. He had taken a sword from her husband's prize collection, half a bag of rice, and a few pounds of fruit. He would have to steal a car later. He felt like a bandit trespassing a village. He had taken so many things from them, so he should just do them a little favor. Wang Ran dragged the old lady's body into her house and placed it on the bed with the old man's body. He also put the old man's head close to the body. If the old couple were still alive, they would probably wish to die together. I can only do this much for you. After Wang Ran finished speaking, he took his car keys and left. At the stairwell, Su Xiaoyu had killed another zombie that had wandered upstairs. Master, are you done? Su Xiaoyu asked in a relaxed manner. For her, killing ordinary zombies was as easy as lifting a finger. I got it. Let's take a break. We'll leave at 2. Wang Ran waved the car, keys in his hand. The 2 of them returned home and leisurely leaned back on the sofa. It was impossible for him to exercise. He definitely could not exercise at the moment. In order to pass the time, Wang Ran took out his iPad. Since the internet was still up, Wang Ran casually played a zombie movie, World War Z, as a way to get into the mood. After the movie, it was almost time. Wang Ran was carrying a mountaineering bag and holding a Tang sword. Su Xiaoyu also carried her luggage. Wang Ran was extremely envious of her for being able to easily lift the 30-pound box. The two of them killed a few zombies along the way and easily arrived at the underground parking lot. Wong Ren was dumbfounded when he arrived at the garage. There are almost 40 F*** zombies. Which idiot attracted them here? Welcome to the apocalypse. Wong Ren almost immediately understood what had happened. These zombies seemed to have been attracted by the Maybach he smashed the last time. He had really dug a hole for himself. However, the underground parking lot was quite open, and it was a good place for him to practice movements with Su Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu, take care of these zombies. Wong Ren put down his backpack, pulled out his Tang sword, and got ready for battle. Su Xiaoyu also stretched her wrists. The two of them swaggered out. Roar! A few nearby zombies noticed them and immediately rushed over. Wong Ren and Su Xiaoyu, one on the left and one on the right, started a massacre. These zombies were no match for the two of them in this open space. Every time Wong Ren's blade slashed down, he would mutilate a hapless zombie's body. Su Xiaoyu was even more brutal. She blew heads apart with her fists. 2 or 3 minutes later, all the zombies in the garage were cleared. Wong Ren was a little short of breath. After all, he had killed more than 10 zombies. The scariest thing about being surrounded by zombies was the finite stamina of a person. No matter how strong you were, if you fell into a sea of zombies, you would run out of strength. Before transmigrating, Wong Ren was unfortunately ambushed by humans while also being surrounded by zombies. In the end, he was bitten by countless zombies. Master, they're all so weak. Su Xiaoyu randomly grabbed a piece of clothing from a zombie and wiped the blood off her hands. Of course, it was the blood of zombies. It's not that they're weak. You're too strong. Wong Ren shrugged his shoulders. The mutated zombies that appeared on the second day of the apocalypse could be described as overpowered. Which zombie could be Su Xiaoyu's match? At this moment, a soft voice came from the side. Wong Ren turned his head warily and saw a delinquent with dyed blonde hair sneakily approaching the mountaineering bag that he had put aside. F***CK. How dare you steal my things? Xiaoyu, catch that guy and bring him over. Wong Ren pointed at the blondie and said. His own legs were a little sore, so he could only rely on Xiaoyu to chase after him. The blondie shivered in fear when he was discovered. He picked up his backpack and ran out of the garage. Unfortunately, he was facing Su Xiaoyu, who had the power of a mutated zombie. Within a few seconds, Su Xiaoyu caught up with Blondie. Su Xiaoyu grabbed the backpack and did a shoulder throw. The Blondie did not stand a chance. Su Xiaoyu dragged Blondie to Wong Ren. Little brat, you're stealing my things? Wong Ren held his Tang sword and looked at Blondie coldly. What are you talking about? It's obviously something that no one wants. What's wrong with me taking it? The Blondie was stubborn. Wong Ren smiled. It seemed that this Blondie had not received the cruel education of the apocalypse. In the apocalypse, a can of food could make a group of people kill another group. The food in the backpack was enough for him to be killed many times over. This brat really needed to be taught a lesson. I'm telling you, hurry up and let go of me. Otherwise, I'm going to call for help. I have 6 or 7 brothers upstairs. When they come, you'll all have to kneel down. Blondie was still acting arrogantly and peeked at Su Xiaoyu from time to time. He had never seen such a beautiful girl before. It was a pity that he was now being controlled by them. If he had the chance to call his brothers over, maybe there's still a chance for multiple people to exercise. The Blondie had just finished fantasizing when a few other gangsters with dyed hair of various colors came to the garage with sticks in their hands. Along, what are you dawdling for? It's so dangerous outside, a red-haired guy said impatiently. When he saw Su Xiaoyu, he was stunned. Such a beautiful girl. The other people also revealed malicious looks. Kid, it's your turn to cry now. The Blondie grinned evilly. Xiaoyu, don't kill them. It's fine to break their arms and legs. Wong Ren rubbed Su Xiaoyu's head. Yes, master. Su Xiaoyu nodded obediently. It was more difficult to break their limbs than to kill them outright. However, this was not a problem for Su Xiaoyu. Actually took the initiative to come over. This girl knows what's good for her. The Blondie wiped the drool from the corner of his mouth. But the next moment, he could no longer laugh. With a crack, his leg bone was broken by Su Xiaoyu's kick. Help! My leg! My hand. My hand is broken. It hurts. You're committing a crime. The gangsters were rolling on the ground in pain. They couldn't beat her. They couldn't run away. They could only watch this terrifying woman break their hands and feet with her bare hands. Master, it's all done. Su Xiaoyu dusted her hands with a smug look on her face. Throw them next to that car. Wong Ren pointed at the Maybach. Su Xiaoyu threw the gangsters near the Maybach one by one as if she were carrying chickens. Welcome to the apocalypse, Wang Ran said as he kicked the front of the Maybach. The alarm sounded again. The faces of the youths changed. They also knew that the zombies were alerted by such sounds. What if such a loud alarm attracted zombies? Unfortunately, they had lost their limbs and had no ability to escape. An aura of despair was rapidly spreading among them. Let's go, Xiaoyu. Wang Ran picked up the mountaineering bag and used the car key to find the old man's car. It was an old Jetta with a manual transmission. The two of them got into the car, but Wang Ran was not in a hurry to start the car. At that moment, many zombies were being attracted by the alarm. If they headed out now, they would run into the zombies. This old Volkswagen Jetta would take a while to get up to speed, so it would be better to wait. The zombies were attracted by the alarm and pounced on the young men with broken arms and legs like hungry wolves. Screams of pain rang out in the garage. Survivors in the supermarket. Wang Ran looked around and saw no more fresh zombies coming over. It was almost time to leave. Boom! Wang Ran started the Jetta. The sound of the car attracted the attention of the zombies who were eating nearby. He stepped on the clutch, shifted gears, and stepped on the gas. After a series of operations, Wang Ran smoothly drove the Jetta out of the underground parking lot. The ground was already in ruins. There were destroyed cars and mangled bodies everywhere. In order to avoid the obstacles, Wang Ran had no choice but to reduce the speed of his car and weave about on the road in constant S-shapes. The zombies on the ground all heard the movement and turned their eyes to Wang Ran. Roar! They roared and rushed towards Wang Ran's Volkswagen Jetta. Very quickly, a long line formed behind Wang Ran. The zombies in the nearby streets and buildings were all attracted by the noise. At first glance, there were at least 200 of them. Master, there's a little too many this time. Even Su Xiaoyu frowned slightly. Although she was strong, she could only do so much. Once they were surrounded, she might not be able to protect Wang Ran. It's fine, I'm good at driving. Wang Ran skillfully maneuvered the manual Jetta, distancing himself from the zombies behind him while avoiding the obstacles on the road. Soon, Wang Ran arrived near the supermarket. At the front door of the supermarket, hundreds of zombies were wandering around. From the looks of it, he definitely couldn't use the main entrance. Wang Ran drove around the supermarket. Unloading bay. Wang Ran's eyes lit up. The unloading bay was directly next to the warehouse, which was the destination of this trip. Wang Ran looked at the horde of zombies behind him. They were at least 100 meters away. Xiaoyu, the zombies won't attack you. Take your backpack and luggage and wait for me at the unloading area, Wang Ran ordered. Su Xiaoyu listened to Wang Ran's instructions without a shred of doubt and jumped out of the car with her things. Wang Ran continued to drive the Volkswagen Jetta on the road and drove a few rounds around the supermarket. Soon, Wang Ran could see the zombies at the back of the group. Hundreds of zombies had almost surrounded the supermarket. If they kept moving forward, they would be swarmed. Wang Ran turned the car's stereo to the maximum volume and jumped out of the car with his Tang sword. The car continued to move forward in first gear. Wang Ran, on the other hand, ran directly to the unloading area. Most of the zombies were attracted by the Volkswagen Jetta that was playing music, but more than 10 zombies followed Wang Ran with red eyes. Wang Ran pulled out his Tang sword and killed a few zombies blocking the way. He then arrived at the unloading area. Master! Su Xiaoyu heaved a sigh of relief when she saw Wang Ran. It seemed that she had been left worried for the past few minutes. Stop the ones that are chasing us. I'll open the door. There was no time for small talk at this time. Wang Ran directly headed for the warehouse door. There was an electronic lock on the door, and the correct password was needed to enter. Wang Ran was not in a hurry. He grabbed a handful of fine sand and dust from the ground and sprinkled it on the password keyboard. People's hands were more or less greasy, and some residue would be left on the keys. After blowing on the sand, Wong Ren quickly found the 4 numbers that were most often pressed. Right now, it was a matter of trying out different combinations. The first time was a mistake. The alarm sounded. The zombies in the distance perked up right away. The second time was no good either. The third time was still no good. The pressure on Su Xiaoyu was piling up. There were already dozens of zombie bodies piled in front of her. In front of them, the zombies were still coming in like a tide. Su Xiaoyu was already panting slightly. It seemed that she could still get fatigued. Wang Ran composed himself and continued to try the password. Ding! Ding! The green light on the electronic lock lit up. It was successfully unlocked. Any longer, and Wang Ran would have started breaking the lock open with force. Xiaoyu, we're good now. Wang Ran threw his backpack and luggage into the house and waited for Su Xiaoyu at the entrance. Su Xiaoyu's long legs sent 2 zombies flying, and she quickly ran toward Wang Ran. Su Xiaoyu threw herself into Wang Ran's arms. Wang Ran took the opportunity to lock the door. Phew! We made it! Wang Ran heaved a sigh of relief. Su Xiaoyu, on the other hand, refused to leave Wang Ran's arms. She had spent a lot of effort just now, so she had to act coquettishly now. Suddenly, Wang Ran and Su Xiaoyu both sensed something strange. The two of them turned their heads and saw a few people in supermarket uniforms staring at them with weapons in their hands. Who are you people? How do you know the password? A middle-aged man with balding hair asked. Judging from the clothes, this person should be the manager of the supermarket. We are survivors. I'm here to find some supplies. Wang Ran said indifferently. The man frowned. When the zombie virus broke out, they happened to be working in a warehouse, so they immediately closed the door and escaped the disaster. There were plenty of resources here, so life here was quite easy. To his surprise, the warehouse door was suddenly opened. He had been so scared that he had almost peed his pants. Fortunately, they closed the door in time. The roars from the door alone indicated that there were at least 100 zombies outside. If they were to be let in, they would all be finished. Survivors? I'm a manager here. I have the final say here. You too. The bald man glanced at the two of them, and when his eyes fell on Su Xiaoyu, he suddenly stopped. Such a beauty! Even the female celebrities on television were not this beautiful. If he could have some fun, his life would be worth it. You guys stay. We'll make do. However, I have the final say here. You all know that in this situation, resources are very precious. We don't keep idle people here. Wang Ran smiled. The baldy's eyes had showed that he was up to no good. He must be interested in Su Xiaoyu. However, Wang Ran was not in a hurry to kill him. This warehouse could stop zombies, but not humans. The entire warehouse needed to be reinforced. Such hard work definitely required manpower. The supermarket employees in front of him were very suitable for the task. After a break, he would find a chance to subdue them, and then he could start work. In addition, Wang Ran also saw a large cold storage warehouse in the warehouse. There should be a large amount of meat and seafood in the cold storage. It was quite a commodity in the post-apocalyptic world. However, there were several heavy locks on the door of the cold storage. A key would be needed for physical locks like these. The manager would have those keys one way or another. After a short break, he could directly interrogate him with torture. Young lady. The manager saw Wang Ran remaining silent and thought that he had tacitly agreed to the rules here. He nodded in satisfaction. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tang Dahai, and I'm the purchasing manager of this supermarket. The one next to me is Lu Chong, the security guard of the supermarket warehouse. He used to be the city boxing champion. I advise you not to do anything rash, or he might kill you with one punch. These two women are both employees of our supermarket. One is called Li Mei, and the other is Lin Momo. When Tang Dahai introduced Lin Momo, his eyes momentarily glinted, betraying his evil thoughts. Lin Momo was a college student who had just come to the supermarket for her internship. Although she was small and had a childlike face, but in some indescribable places, she was even bigger than Su Xiaoyu's perfect figure. Such a contrast was particularly easy to arouse people's evil thoughts. Tang Dahai has had his eyes on Lin Momo for some time. Previously, he did not dare to do it because he was married. The apocalypse had broken out, his wife and children were dead, and he was the highest-ranking leader of this warehouse. This made Tang Dahai's thoughts run wild. However, because the apocalypse had only broken out 2 days ago, Tang Dahai had not lost his grasp on basic morals so quickly, so he had not made a move yet. However, Wang Ran and Su Xiaoyu's arrival gave Tang Dahai some ideas. To the survivors outside, food and a safe place to live were the most important. If they were to use their bodies in exchange for it, I'm sure some people will agree. Tang Dahai planned to start with Su Xiaoyu and use his power and resources to enjoy himself. Once he started, it would only be a matter of time before he took down Lin Momo. As for Wang Ran, if he was obedient, it would be good to have another coolie. If they dared to resist, Lu Chong could always kill him. Momo, take these two to a place to rest. Give them a day's worth of food and water. Don't give them too much. Tang Dahai ordered her. After settling them down, he would discuss with the security guard, Lu Chong, on how to firmly control this place. Yes, manager. Lin Momo nodded and walked to Wang Ran and Su Xiaoyu. Sister, let me help you with your luggage. Lin Momo took the initiative to pick up Su Xiaoyu's luggage. Oh, it's so heavy. Lin Momo's face turned red with exertion, but she couldn't carry it. She could only try to drag it. Soon, Lin Momo led Wang Ran and Su Xiaoyu to a corner of the warehouse. The entire warehouse was filled with rows of shelves, which could be clearly divided into living quarters. The place where Wang Ran and Su Xiaoyu were placed was a home appliance warehouse that was surrounded by washing machines, televisions, and other things. The vital food area in the warehouse was naturally occupied by Tang Dahai and the others. It was obvious that Tang Dahai was still very wary of Wang Ran. Big brother, big sister, I'll go get your tents later. Do you want one or two? The cute Lin Momo pushed up her glasses and asked. One. Su Xiaoyu immediately said. She had to sleep with Wang Ran. Otherwise, what if I'm hungry at night? All right, I'll get it ready immediately. Lin Momo understood immediately. She nodded and quickly set off. Master, this place is pretty good. There's so many resources. Do you want to kill those who are in the way? Su Xiaoyu asked when she saw that no one was around. We'll definitely kill them, but there's no hurry. We killed so many zombies and ran around so much. Let's rest first. Besides, I still need to find out where the key to the cold storage is. Wang Ran sat on the ground. Although he was an awakened one, he would not be that effective in a fight. In addition, he had exercised for a few hours last night. It was almost necessary to take a break now. That manager man looked at me with perverted eyes just now. Don't stop me later. I'm going to dig out his eyes. Su Xiaoyu said, pouting. She had become a zombie, but was still temperamental. No problem. I'll leave it to you later. Wang Ran smiled. In this apocalyptic world, Wang Ran would not show any mercy to any stranger. Only he and the people around him mattered. Not long later, Lin Momo ran over with a bunch of things. Big brother Wang Ran, big sister Xiaoyu, this is your tent. As for the food, Lin Momo handed it over sheepishly. Tang Dahai had given Wang Ran and Su Xiaoyu 2 bottles of mineral water and 2 packs of biscuits for the day. Although it was reasonable for an apocalypse period ration in this warehouse, it was almost sadistic. Sister Xiaoyu, if you're not used to it, there's a sandwich I saved here. You can have it first. Lin Momo took out her sandwich and gave it to Su Xiaoyu. It's fine. I don't really like to eat. Su Xiaoyu waved her hand. Her impression of the girl improved. Okay, then I'll go back first. Sister Li and I live in the cosmetics area, just a few dozen meters away from you. If there's anything you need, you can come find me. I'll leave you two to it. Lin Momo waved the two of them and left, skipping and skipping. Master, this little girl is a good person. Can we spare her later? Su Xiaoyu turned around and asked. She could truly feel that Lin Momo was kind. Sure, you may even find yourself a new friend. We need those in times like this. Wang Ran nodded. If it was just him and Su Xiaoyu, the only way to relieve their boredom was it would strain his body too much. It was nice to have someone to share Su Xiaoyu's free time. Master, why don't you take her in as well? Look at her. I'm sure she'll feel good to the touch. Su Xiaoyu raised an eyebrow. Wang Ran spat out a mouthful of water. Another one? Do you want me to die of exhaustion? Wang Ran rubbed his slightly sore waist. One Su Xiaoyu was already a little too much for him, and another one. He wouldn't be able to walk. Master, this tent's soundproofing isn't very good. What are we going to do tonight? We can't let anyone hear us. Why don't we get rid of those people earlier? Su Xiaoyu had already started planning for her evening exercise. Can you put something else in your head? Will you die if we abstain from it? Wang Ran flicked Su Xiaoyu's head. Su Xiaoyu stuck out her tongue, looking very innocent. She had no choice. She had become a zombie, and certain carnal desires had been amped up. She really needed those to survive. On the other side of the warehouse, manager Tang Dehai and security guard Lu Chong were talking. Old Lu, you've seen the news on my phone these past 2 days. The entire world is up in flames. No help will be coming for us. This place is well stocked. It's not a problem to live for 8 to 10 years with the things here. However, we still have to set the rules here. Otherwise, if people keep coming to us for help, we won't have enough food for so many people, right? Tang Dehai's smile was so wide that the flesh on his face had practically melded together. Manager Tang, I know what you mean. As long as you don't mistreat me, I'll work for you. Lu Chong was also a wily old fox, and he understood everything with just a little hint. All right, and it's a deal. In the future, if you take in people, the men will do the hard work, and the women will give us a good time. If they don't listen to me, you can beat them to death. In this day and age, the law will no longer protect the weak. Tang Dehai smirked. Manager Tang, you've been interested in that long-legged beauty since the beginning, right? Lu Chong said, beaming with joy. That's not true. Look at her long legs. TSK, TSK, TSK. I can play with them all day long. Tang Dehai's body started to heat up as he thought of that scene. Manager Tang, that long-legged beauty is yours. As for Lin Momo, why don't you leave her to me? Lu Chong's eyes were full of desire. Hey, weren't you with Big Sister Lee? What made you turn tail? Tang Dehai was a little unhappy. In his eyes, all the beautiful women here belonged to him alone. Big Sister Lee is already 40 years old. You said before the apocalypse that you wanted her. It's already the end of the world. I'm done living on fantasies. I only have one request. Lin Momo is mine. Otherwise, I won't work for you. Lu Chong took a stand. Lu, you're really... All right, we'll do as you say. Actually, we have the final say here. Who says we can't swing around a little and share? Don't you agree? Tang Dehai raised his eyebrows. Manager Tang, I always knew you're a freak. I like the way you think. The two of them were in cahoots and soon reached a consensus. After getting Tang Dehai's approval, Lu Chong, the security guard, couldn't wait to go to the cosmetics area. Lin, come with me for a moment. I have something to discuss with you. Lu Chong looked at Lin Momo smugly, as if he was looking at his prey. Okay. The innocent Lin Momo did not know what Lu Chong was up to, so she obediently followed him. Little Lin, I'm sure you know how the world has changed. We don't keep idle people in this warehouse. Everyone has to prove their worth. You too, you understand what I mean. Lu Chong's eyes scanned Lin Momo's body. Captain Lu, don't worry. I'll do my best to clean up the place and check the inventory. Lin Momo said anxiously. She was just an intern. She was content to have a place to take refuge and food to eat. She was willing to work her way and earn her keep. If she was kicked out, she would not be able to survive in this post-apocalyptic world. TSK. I don't think you're getting it. What I'm saying is you have to do more than just that. You have certain gifts. You should use them. Lu Chong stuck out his tongue and licked his lips. The evil thoughts in his eyes did not seem to be restrained at all. Lin Momo's body trembled. She understood what Lu Chong meant. She had used her body to survive. Captain Lu, you're going too far. We're all colleagues. After all, how could you? Lin Momo criticized him as she retreated. TSK. Do you think we're still in the old world? I'm telling you, in this day and age, women are like goods, only qualified to be used. Lu Chong unbuckled his belt and approached Lin Momo. Lin Momo trembled in fear. However, she still mustered up the courage to grab a bottle of shampoo next to her and splash it on Lu Chong. While Lu Chong was wiping his face, Lin Momo ran all the way to the gate. CK. You little shit. I was planning on playing nice, but when I get you, you're going to scream and beg. Lu Chong wiped the shampoo off his face and immediately chased after her. Don't come over. If you come over, I'll open the door. Lin Momo grabbed the door handle and said with a trembling voice. To her, it was better to die in the hands of zombies than to be violated by Lu Chong. What's the situation? Lu, how the hell did this happen? Manager Tang rushed over when he heard the commotion. Manager Tang panicked when he saw Lin Momo holding the door handle. If they let the zombies in, they would all be dead. Manager, I didn't expect this girl to be so defiant. Lu Chong looked helpless. If he had known that it would be so difficult to deal with, he would have found an opportunity to get some alcohol. It would be such a pity if she died. Where could he find such a big size? Lin, listen to me. Don't be rash. You should know what the world is like now. You're a weak woman. You should find a strong man to rely on so that you can survive. Hurry up and come back. Tang Dahai said. I won't. I'd rather die than let you have your way. Lin Momo said with red eyes. In her opinion, she would only give her body to the person she liked. Selling her body for survival? She could not do such a thing. All right, then we won't force you on this matter. Just come back first. Tang Dahai continued. As long as they could trick Lin Momo into coming back, the two men together would be able to take her down. 8 times, a dozen times, the strongest of wills would break. Lin Momo lowered her guard a little after hearing Tang Dahai's words. She pulled her hand back from the door handle. Now, Tang Dahai saw the opportunity and immediately signaled to Lu Chong. The two of them quickly rushed toward Lin Momo. Lin Momo panicked, but she quickly reacted and pushed the door handle down with all her might. The door opened. Tang Dahai and Lu Chong, who had been charging at Lin Momo, stopped in their tracks. They saw a few pale arms reach in through the crack in the door. As soon as Lin Momo turned around, she was grabbed by the arms of a few zombies and dragged out. Gaining strength, before the crowd could react, another figure suddenly jumped out. It was Wang Ran, holding the Tang sword. Hurry up. Quickly close the door. Tang Dahai gave Lu Chong a look. Although it was a pity that Lin Momo had died, there was still a long-legged beauty in the game. As long as the door was locked and the zombies were not allowed in, the board would still be the same. I dare you to close the door. Su Xiaoyu stood at the door and said coldly, Yo, young lady, are you worried about your boyfriend? Let me tell you this. As long as he is bitten or scratched by a zombie, he is already a dead man. Just give up and find a new boyfriend. What do you think of me? Lu Chong walked towards Su Xiaoyu with a smirk on his face. Without a word, Su Xiaoyu kicked Lu Chong's knee. Crack! Lu Chong's left leg bent the other way round. His leg was crippled. Ah, my leg! My leg! Lu Chong fell to the ground and kept wailing. Tang Dahai was so scared that he fell to the ground. This woman who looked like she belonged in a supermodel magazine actually had such strength. Who would still dare to harbor thoughts about her? Su Xiaoyu immediately blocked the door and waited for Wang Ran. She didn't dare to rush out to help. If she went out and the people inside locked the door, they would be trapped outside. At that time, it would be difficult to enter. As long as Wang Ran's life was not in danger, Su Xiaoyu would have to guard the door. Outside the door, when Lin Momo was dragged out by the zombies, she was already in despair. I'm going to die. Will I become a terrifying zombie after I die? I haven't even been in love before. Lin Momo closed her eyes, waiting for death to come. Suddenly, a warm hand grabbed her and pulled her into an embrace. What? Lin Momo opened her eyes and found Wong Ren hugging her. Big brother Wong Ren, why did you follow me out? Lin Momo's body trembled. He was here to save her. Lin Momo's eyes quickly became wet. In a life and death situation, people were easily moved. The zombies were very close to him, and a few of them had already started to bite Wong Ran's body. Big brother Wong Ran. Lin Momo could not stop her tears from flowing when she saw this. She had also seen the news on her phone and knew that as long as one was bitten by a zombie, they would be dead. In order to save her, Wong Ran had even disregarded his life. Don't be afraid. Wong Ran patted Lin Momo's back and then pulled out his Tang sword. Wong Ran protected Lin Momo with one hand and wielded his sword with the other as he began to fight the zombies. Blood and flesh flew everywhere. A few minutes later, Wang Ran's Tang's sword fell to the ground. Wang Ran rested his hands on his knees, gasping for air. More than a dozen zombies had fallen to the ground. This time, fighting with one hand was indeed more difficult than before. Wang Ran's body was also covered in wounds. Fortunately, he was immune to the zombie virus. Not far away, dozens of zombies heard the commotion and were rushing over. "Come, let's go in." Wang Ran and Lin Momo supported each other as they walked into the warehouse. Su Xiaoyu heaved a sigh of relief. She immediately helped the two of them in and locked the door. He has been bitten. He will become a zombie. Are you trying to get us killed?" Tang Dehai said in fear. "Shut up. You're not in a position to speak here." Su Xiaoyu glared at Tang Dehai. Tang Dehai immediately shrunk his neck and didn't dare to make another sound. He didn't want to end up like Lu Chong. In this post-apocalyptic world, a broken arm or leg was no different from being dead. "Xiaoyu, help me to a corner. I need to catch my breath." Wang Ran whispered to Su Xiaoyu. He felt odd. At least 7 or 8 zombies had gotten their bites in. Had his immune system been overwhelmed? If that was the case, then they were done for. Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo helped Wang Ran to the household area. Wang Ran lay down in the tent, feeling as if his body was on fire. His entire body was drenched in sweat. "Master, how are you?" Su Xiaoyu was very anxious. Previously, when Wang Ran was bitten by her, he didn't seem to be like this. Could it be that he had been bitten too many times? "I'm fine. I just feel a little strange." After Wang Ran got used to the reaction in his body, he became much calmer. Although he had never turned into a zombie before, he could feel that the change in his body was different. It was most definitely not zombification. A few minutes later, Wang Ran heaved a sigh of relief. He felt much better. His body seemed to be filled with power. "I actually feel stronger." Wang Ran quickly came to a conclusion. Zombie bites empowered him. "Xiaoyu, help me move that refrigerator over." Wang Ran ordered. Su Xiaoyu quickly pushed a double-door refrigerator over. Wang Ran stood up, took a deep breath, and threw a punch. Boom! The refrigerator door caved in from a punch. Wang Ran retracted his fist and looked at it. It was unscathed. It was just as he had expected. "Master, you become stronger." Su Xiaoyu was overjoyed. The current Wang Ran was no weaker than her, a mutated zombie. "That's right. With my current strength, I'm completely capable of protecting myself." Wang Ran was very satisfied. If he had not risked his life to save Lin Momo, he would not have discovered this. When he was bitten by Su Xiaoyu, he had probably become a little stronger. Perhaps the change was too subtle, so it was not easy to detect. This time, after being bitten by 7 or 8 zombies, the improvement in his strength was apparent. "Master, if you become stronger, is it possible?" Su Xiaoyu blushed and lowered her head. When Wang Ran saw her expression, he knew that she had started to think about something. Sigh. Fortunately, his body had become stronger. Otherwise, he would die of exhaustion. "Hey, where's Momo?" Wang Ran looked around and realized that Lin Momo had disappeared. That little girl must have been frightened just now. "Master, she is in the tent." Su Xiaoyu pointed at the tent. Wang Ran suddenly had a bad feeling. Just now, when Lin Momo was taken away by the zombies, maybe she had been infected. Gore. Squeak. The sound of teeth grinding could be heard from the tent. Wang Ran immediately knew that Lin Momo had turned into a zombie. "Xiaoyu, keep watch for me." Wang Ran instructed her before entering the tent. Su Xiaoyu goes wild. The moment Wang Ran entered the tent, he saw a pale face pouncing at him with its bloody mouth wide open. It was Lin Momo. She had indeed been zombified. Wang Ran hugged Lin Momo and let her gnaw on his shoulder. Half a minute later, Lin Momo quieted down. Her gray pupils gradually turned black. From the looks of it, she had also successfully regained her consciousness. "Arg, your shoulder. Does it hurt?" When Lin Momo saw the wound on Wang Ran's shoulder, she became extremely concerned. Her memory was still a little hazy after she became a zombie, but she knew that she had bitten him as a zombie. "It's nothing. I've already been bitten so many times today. This is not a big deal." Wong Ren shrugged his shoulders. The habitual movement caused Wong Ren's shoulder to continue bleeding. Arg, we can't waste it. Lin Momo immediately moved her little mouth closer and licked the blood flowing down from Wong Ren's shoulder. Her face was full of satisfaction. Wong Ren was stunned. It seemed that Lin Momo was in the same state as Su Xiaoyu. Their brains were all King filled with the thought of his blood. It seemed like this was not Su Xiaoyu's problem alone. It was because all cured zombies were like this. Sigh the days to come. Wong Ren shook his head with a depressed look. Fortunately, his body had evolved. Otherwise, he would not last 3 days, donating blood and tending to their physical needs. Master, are you done? Su Xiaoyu poked her head into the tent. As soon as she saw Lin Momo's current appearance, Su Xiaoyu knew that she had gained a sister. Sister Momo, don't be afraid. Being a zombie isn't actually bad. You'll get used to it slowly. Su Xiaoyu held Lin Momo's hand. I'm not afraid. I feel very safe staying by Master's side. Lin Momo said, tilting her head. Sister Momo, let me impart some experience to you. Master, please leave for a moment. Su Xiaoyu went into the tent and pushed Wong Ren out. Is there any secret that I can't hear? Wong Ren smiled helplessly. As soon as he walked out of the tent, Wong Ren saw 3 people with weapons approaching him from not far away. They were Tang Dahai, Lu Chong in a wheelchair, and Li Meili. The 3 of them were originally aggressive, but when they saw Wong Ren walking out of the tent unscathed, they were a little scared. Didn't you get bitten by a zombie? Why are you completely fine? Tang Dahai held a nail gun in his hand and aimed it at Wong Ren as he asked. The nail gun was the only long-ranged weapon in the supermarket. But even so, Tang Dahai still felt uneasy. After all, Wong Ren was a ruthless man who could fight against more than 10 zombies alone. Moreover, he had that violent, long-legged beauty by his side. Originally, Tang Dahai had planned to kill them all while Wong Ren was incapacitated. Who knew that Wong Ren would be completely fine? Manager Tang, what are you afraid of? We have guns. Lu Chong endured the sharp pain in his leg and shook the nail gun in his hand. Yes. We have guns. What are we afraid of? Tang Dahai wiped the sweat from his forehead and felt more confident. There were 3 of them, and they were all holding nail guns. Although the nail gun was not particularly powerful, it was still lethal in short distances. Master, what's wrong? Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo, who had been whispering in the tent, heard the noise and came out. A greedy look appeared on his face when he saw Su Xiaoyu. However, he knew Su Xiaoyu's strength. This woman was too dangerous. Kill them all. Kill them all. With such a warehouse, would he still have to worry about not having any women in the future? However, it would be nice if he could satisfy himself before killing them, even if it was just for his eyes. If you don't want your master to die, then just take off your clothes and dance for us. Tang Dahai said with an evil smile. Right. Hurry up and take off your clothes. Lu Chong, who was standing at the side, licked his lips. Su Xiaoyu had broken his leg, which made him very unhappy. He wanted to vent his anger. Su Xiaoyu frowned and glanced at Wong Ren. Master, was he in danger? What should she do? Xiaoyu, don't worry. A mere nail gun can't kill me. Just kill them. Leave the manager alive. I still have things to ask him. Wong Ren said indifferently. You're looking for death. Lu Chong panicked when he heard Wong Ren's words. He had witnessed Su Xiaoyu's combat power. She had crippled his leg with one kick. If she were to attack, that would be terrible. He would really be killed. Lu Chong's trembling hand directly squeezed the trigger. A few long nails were directly fired at Wong Ren. Whoosh! The aim was a little off, and the long nail was embedded in Wong Ren's arm. You actually dare to hurt Master. Su Xiaoyu's pupils instantly turned from black to gray. Her nails also suddenly grew longer. Roar! Su Xiaoyu instantly turned into a beast and pounced at Lu Chong. Su Xiaoyu's claw pierced through Lu Chong's chest and pulled out his bloody heart. Su Xiaoyu clenched her fist hard, and the heart exploded. Lu Chong lowered his head and looked at the bloody hole in his chest. Before he could be surprised, his head tilted to the side, and he died. Ah, murder! Li Mei was so scared that she threw away the nail gun and ran away. However, she couldn't outrun a furious mutated zombie, no matter how hard she tried. Su Xiaoyu jumped and stepped on Li Mei's shoulder. The sharp claws stabbed down and pulled. A human head flew directly to the ceiling. Large amounts of blood spurted out like a fountain. After killing Li Mei, Su Xiaoyu turned to look at Tang Dahai. Help! Tang Dahai's legs gave way, and he fell to the ground. A warm current flowed out from between his legs. Su Xiaoyu's claws were aimed at Tang Dahai's head. Xiaoyu, I need him alive. Wong Ren immediately reminded her. Su Xiaoyu's nails stopped a few centimeters in front of Tang Dahai's eyes. Her pupils gradually returned to black. Master, I lost control just now. Su Xiaoyu stuck out her tongue and returned to her cute and obedient self. However, in front of Tang Dahai, Su Xiaoyu was a demon. She looked no different from a zombie just now. No, she was more terrifying than zombies. At most, zombies would bite people, but she would dismember them. You, tell me where the key to the cold storage is. Wong Ren pulled out the nail on his arm and glared at Tang Dahai. You let me live? Tang Dahai asked, trembling. No, you'll die either way. But if you tell me, it'll be less painful. Wong Ren put on a very benevolent smile. Is that your uniform? Tang Dahai's face was covered with tears and snot. If he had known that this would happen, he would have been polite to her. With such a powerful person around, he could have survived. Why did he have to have feelings for someone else's woman? Now, no matter what he did, he would still die. Big brother, the way they died. Do you consider it painless? Tang Dahai pointed at the bodies of Lu Chong and Li Mei. Of course, violent and gruesome, but quick and painless. If you don't hand over the key, I can slowly torture you and let you suffer for a few hours before you die. Of course, I can also throw you out and let the zombies bite you to death. If they do not go for your throat, you would probably experience being bitten for more than 10 minutes before you bleed to death, Wang Ran said with a smile. Tang Dahai shivered when he heard that. It was terrifying. He would experience being eaten alive by zombies for more than 10 minutes. Such mental and physical torture was worse than death. Please let me speak. The key to the freezer is in the beverage section, under the first bottle of Goi's beer in the third row. Tang Dahai couldn't take it anymore. He directly told them the location of the key. He wanted to be spared the torture. All right, he said. Xiaoyu, give him a quick death. Then clean up the inside. Wong Ren ordered. Su Xiaoyu nodded and walked behind Tang Dahai. She grabbed his head and twisted it. It rotated a full 360 degrees. Tang Dahai's body fell to the ground. Then, Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo began to move the bodies on the ground out of the warehouse. The bloodstains on the ground also needed to be cleaned carefully, otherwise it would not take long for them to stink. Wang Ran successfully found the key and opened the door. It had to be said that the resources in the cold storage were really abundant. The outer layer was the cold and fresh area, where some vegetables and processed fresh food were stored. Further in was the frozen area, rows and rows of frozen meat. If Wang Ran was alone, he would probably have to eat meat for decades for every meal. What a pity. In a few days, the entire city will have a power outage. Wang Ran looked at the cold storage warehouse and could not help but sigh. It would be a waste if the food expired and went bad. By the way, such a large supermarket should have an electric generator. Wang Ran's eyes suddenly lit up. As long as there was enough diesel, the generator could continue to run. Wang Ran casually took a tomato from the refrigerator and closed the door of the refrigerator as he munched on it. In the warehouse hall, Lin Momo was kneeling on the ground with a cloth in her hand, carefully cleaning the bloodstains. Su Xiaoyu, on the other hand, had just finished dealing with the bodies inside. I'm going out for a bit. You two take your time to clean up. Wang Ran greeted the two of them and took out his Tang sword. The current Wang Ran was even stronger than Su Xiaoyu. With a knife in hand, he could easily break out even if they were surrounded by dozens of zombies. After leaving the warehouse, Wang Ran carried his sword and searched around the area. There were 2 large trucks parked in the warehouse's parking lot. They were used for the supermarket's freight. If they ever wanted to evacuate or change locations, they could carry a lot of supplies. Further to the side was the supermarket's sales area. This place had already been swept by the crazy townsfolk several times. There weren't many resources left inside. However, in the following period of time, many survivors would come here to search for food. However, the number of zombies wandering in the supermarket was not small. If it was an ordinary person without any combat ability, they would basically be unable to return. Wong Ren finally found the generator between the supermarket's main hall and the warehouse. There were a total of 4 sets of generators here, which could supply the needs of the warehouse and the supermarket at the same time. Wang Ran took a look and cut off the power line in the direction of the supermarket. All the electricity had to be used in the warehouse and could not be wasted. After checking his diesel reserves, Wang Ran took out his knife and started to calculate on the ground. The current diesel reserve can only power generation for 3 days. It's not enough. Wang Ran frowned slightly. As expected, it was only used for temporary power generation. The supermarket did not have a lot of diesel in stock. It seemed like he would have to search the nearby gas stations. Otherwise, the food in the freezer would be wasted. There was still less than a week before the power outage, so finding diesel was not very urgent. Right now, he had to reinforce the warehouse. He could only sleep in peace at night if he could stop the intruders. Wang Ran found dozens of supermarket carts and surrounded the generator to prevent the wandering zombies from destroying it by accident. After killing more than a dozen zombies along the way, Wang Ran returned to the warehouse. The moment he entered, Wang Ran was stunned. Lin Momo, actually, she had changed into a maid's outfit. Where did this come from? Wang Ran glanced at Su Xiaoyu's luggage and immediately understood. Xiaoyu, why did she bring these things along? But then again, Lin Momo looked really good in the maid uniform. She wasn't tall and looked like a little lowly to begin with, but she looked even cuter in the maid's outfit. However, her chest seemed to be a little too swollen, and one of the buttons had fallen off. Master, you're back. Su Xiaoyu also appeared from the side. She had also changed into a new set of clothes. Bunny girl. Su Xiaoyu's long legs looked really good in this outfit. Wang Ran looked at the two of them and had a bad premonition in his heart. Will I be able to sleep well tonight? Cough, cough, cough. Let's get down to business first. Wang Ran took a few deep breaths to calm himself down. Master, please tell me what you need. Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo held Wang Ran's arms on both sides. Wang Ran felt like he had been kidnapped. You guys go to the household electricity zone and get me some metal plates. Refrigerator, air conditioner, anything is fine. Seal up the windows. Glass glue, nail guns, and so on can be used. If it's the back door, just block it with your home appliances. We're not going to the back door anyway. Leave the ventilation pipes to me. Wang Ran ordered them. The 3 of them quickly split up and began the reinforcement work. The 2 girls carried out Wang Ran's instructions very earnestly. This made Wang Ran very satisfied. The sky gradually darkened. Since all the windows were blocked, Wang Ran turned on the lights in the warehouse without any restraint. Before he transmigrated, he had spent many days and nights hiding in the dark. Being able to run around freely in such an open and bright place really made one happy. Master, I'm a little hungry. Su Xiaoyu finished her work and ran to Wang Ran to rub his stomach. When Su Xiaoyu, who was dressed as a bunny girl, acted coquettishly, Wang Ran did not stand a chance. This girl has endurance. Master, I think I'm losing control of myself. Su Xiaoyu said anxiously. Su Xiaoyu had not eaten anything since morning. She was indeed a little hungry. Moreover, she felt a little dizzy. This was also the reason she had lost her mind and killed so easily when he was threatened. She had a strong feeling that she would turn back into a zombie if she didn't drink any red wine or something of a similar consistency. I see. Wang Ren also thought of Su Xiaoyu's crazed look just now. It seemed that he had to feed her continuously to maintain her normal state. Wang Ran sighed. If he didn't feed them, they would turn back into zombies. It was such high maintenance. In the days to come, it seemed that he had to limit the number of his followers. 2 female zombies were already getting out of hand. If he were to have 8 to 10 of them, he would be done for. Momo, I wanted some sausage and egg fried rice. Go and make me some. There's food in the warehouse, Wang Ran ordered. Yes, master. I'm the best at cooking. After receiving the order, Lin Momo felt that Wong Ran valued her, so she ran away happily. And Wong Ran. He pulled Su Xiaoyu into the tent. Su Xiaoyu's pupils were already half gray. If he didn't feed her now, something would happen. Master, the food is ready. Are you going to eat first, or? Lin Momo lowered her head and looked at herself. Let's eat first. The rice won't taste good if it's cold. Wong Ren took the fried rice, sat down, and started eating. Lin Momo's cooking skills were pretty good. The fried rice was simple, but extremely delicious. It seemed that Lin Momo had not lost her basic life skills after becoming a zombie. With a personal cook by his side, his life would be much more comfortable in the future. Wong Ren finished the fried rice in a few bites. Lin Momo kneeled at the side and took the utensils. Master, I'll go wash the plates. Lin Momo took her utensils and was about to leave. Wong Ren grabbed Lin Momo. That can wait, can it not? After walking out of the tent, Wong Ren stretched his back. This time, he could finally sleep well tonight. It was not easy being a man, but then again, he still had to experiment on the fact that he could become stronger after being bitten by zombies. Today, he had been bitten by about 10 zombies, and he had gained substantial strength. What if he went out and let thousands of zombies bite him? Would he be so strong that he could break through the heavens? However, if he ever got bitten by so many zombies, he would probably be bitten into a dried corpse. In addition, would the bite of a weaker zombie and produce differing effects from that of a mutated zombie? He had to test it out. In the apocalypse, strength was the most important factor to ensure one's survival. A feedback loop to perpetual strength. Xiaoyu, try biting me. Wong Ran walked up to Su Xiaoyu and extended his hand. Su Xiaoyu was now a mutant zombie, far stronger than ordinary zombies. Wong Ran wanted to try and see if being bitten by her would have any effect. What? Master, are you giving me an extra meal? Su Xiaoyu's eyes lit up. Just a little. Don't overdo it. Wong Ran reminded her. Su Xiaoyu bit Wong Ran's finger. Su Xiaoyu indulged in his flavor. Wong Ran could feel a surge of energy flowing through his finger and into his body. It's working. Wong Ran's eyes lit up. After Su Xiaoyu became stronger, her bites gave him more strength than usual. This meant that he would feed Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo to make them stronger. Then, he would let them bite him and make him stronger. What a beautiful synergy. This is awesome. If this cycle continued for a period of time, the entire apocalypse would be free. Even mutant zombies would not scare him. Master, I want some too. When she saw Su Xiaoyu drinking in bliss, Lin Momo also came over. When he saw her eager eyes, Wong Ran caved in, so he extended a finger to her. Lin Momo also took a bite and began to suck the blood. This time, Wong Ran could only feel a subtle flow of power entering his body. It seemed that he had somewhat guessed it right. The stronger the zombie was, the more apparent the empowerment was. By now, he would gain very little from the bites of regular zombies. Moreover, it was much more worthwhile having his 2 zombie girls taking in his blood. After the 2 of them sucked his blood for a while, they seemed to be in much better spirits. Wong Ran's heart skipped a beat. He had a bad feeling about this. Damn, I screwed myself over. Wong Ran's face twitched. It had not been easy dealing with these 2 just now. Wouldn't feeding them give them enough energy for another round? He had really dug a deep hole for himself. Wong Ran once again felt his back aching. Although his strength had increased, his 2 followers had also become stronger. It was brutal. Moreover, even though Wong Ran's physique and strength had improved, a man could only produce so much at a time. It was a good thing that there was plenty of protein sources in this warehouse. There were also many things that could nourish the body, such as abalones and sea cucumbers. Lin Momo's cooking skills allowed these ingredients to be put to good use. After drinking a pot of nourishing soup, Wong Ran finally felt somewhat rejuvenated. No, I can't keep doing this. He had to get to work. Xiaoyu, get to work. Everyone, I'm going to set maximum quotas on this. Wong Ran ordered them. Su Xiaoyu nodded. She also knew the principle of striking a balance between work and fun. After you're done, you and Momo will check the food and supplies in the warehouse. As for food, we'll categorize them according to their shelf life, Wong Ran continued. In the apocalypse, the management of resources was very important. Many people did not die at the hands of zombies, but starved to death. Even though the resources in the warehouse were abundant, they could not grow complacent about it. Some food with a short shelf life had to be eaten first. Otherwise, they would go to waste. Yes, master. The two girls nodded. Wong Ren did not let them off until they finally acceded to his firm request that they changed into more regular clothing. They finally looked a little more normal. The two girls quickly went off to do their own things. Wang Ran continued to study how to strengthen the security measures of this warehouse. Surveillance. We still need to do something about the surveillance cameras. Wang Ran observed the situation for a moment. There were 24 internal and 8 external surveillance cameras in the warehouse. There was hardly any use for the internal cameras in the current situation. After some rearranging, Wang Ran moved all 24 internal surveillance cameras to the outside. The surroundings of the entire warehouse, including the generator, were under full surveillance. The surveillance cameras in the supermarket were quite advanced. They all had night vision and motion capture functions. This way, Wang Ran could sleep in peace at night. After dealing with the surveillance cameras, Wang Ran returned to the warehouse. The surveillance probes were originally connected to the monitors in the control room. Wang Ran would definitely not stay in the monitoring room all day. Fortunately, there were many large-screen color TVs in the household area. Wang Ran immediately found 8 80-inch televisions and stacked them together to form a huge screen. For surveillance, images were connected to each screen. A huge screen monitoring system was built just like that. Master, what a huge screen! Lin Momo, who was stock-taking, happened to pass by and was shocked by the huge screen. The situation outside the warehouse could be seen clearly. Master, why don't you set up another big screen? We can use it to watch porn or something. Lin Momo suggested. The days in the warehouse would be quite boring if they only ate and ate every day. Wang Ran nodded. This was a good idea. If he had something else to do for the girls to pass the time, he would have more time to rest. Assembling a large screen was similar to assembling a surveillance camera. In order to experience the movie, Wang Ran used 9 large televisions and assembled them together in a 3x3 layout. Through a converter, as long as he connected the video source, he could watch films on the big screen. He had to admit that the quality of the pictures on Sony's television was really good. Soon, Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo, who were working, were attracted by the scene. Master, let's play a video and see how it is. Su Xiaoyu proposed. Wang Ran nodded and took out his iPad. A tentacle-themed animation appeared on the screen. The two girls were stunned. Wang Ran found it very awkward. He had not seemed to have transferred any proper videos into the iPad. Easily defensible, difficult to attack. Fortunately, the internet had not yet been cut off. There were also computers in the warehouse. Wang Ran found himself a laptop and connected it to the big screen. Classic movies, dramas, and soap operas, the girls could watch whatever they wanted on the computer. All right. Hurry up and get to work. Wang Ran waved his hand and drove the two girls away. The effects of the porn was still lingering in the air. If they stayed around any longer, they wouldn't get any work done for the next few hours. I wonder how it feels to play League of Legends on the big screen. Wang Ran was bored, so he downloaded the client and entered the game. The big screen was really King cool, but it was a little daunting. As expected, it was even more difficult to get matched into a game on that day. Wang Ran waited for a long time before he successfully started a game. Perhaps it was the influence of the apocalypse, but everyone was surprisingly friendly and harmonious in this game. Please take the kill. No, you deserved it. Take it. We're going after the dragon? Let me help. You're about to go on a kill streak? Come. I've got another prey for you here. At the end of the game, everyone was reluctant to end the game. After all, it was too difficult to match a living person. The players on both sides simultaneously fought on a standstill and did not take the initiative to attack. The game turned into a small chat room. Hey, where you guys from? I'm in City H. Let me tell you, our place has basically fallen. I only have enough supplies to last another 3 more days. After that, I'll have to scavenge again. Our situation here is also very bad. But my family runs a convenience store, so I'll live for now. Your family runs a convenience store? Ah, I really envy you, Trindamir. My family is in trouble. We raised pigs, but they were all eaten by zombies. Hey, are any of you from City Inn? Twisted Fate suddenly asked. City Inn? I'm from City Inn. Wong Ran replied. He had not expected to meet someone close by in a game. Uh-huh. Then do you know about the Blackrock camp? I heard that someone has organized a survivor camp in a basketball court in the suburbs. I'm thinking of going over to take a look, Twisted Fate said. Blackrock camp? I'd advise you not to go. They won't even last a week. Wong Ran persuaded him. As someone who had been through this, he knew about Blackrock camp. It was the first large survivor camp spontaneously set up in City Inn during the apocalypse. However, because many of the people there had yet to recognize reality, they used their status before the apocalypse to get along with others, leading to internal strife in Blackrock camp. Only a week since its establishment, the Blackrock camp, which housed thousands of people, collapsed. Is it that bad? Sigh, then I can only go to Eastlake Island to take a look. Twisted Fate sighed. Eastlake Island? Wong Ren seemed to have some impression of this place. It was a small island along the coast of City Inn. It seemed to have been bought by a real estate developer to build a resort hotel. The island was only connected by a cross-sea bridge, and even ships couldn't get on the island directly. Wong Ran remembered that the strongest survivor camp in City North had occupied that place. It's a good place that's easy to defend and difficult to attack. The terrain is much better than our warehouse. Wong Ran touched his chin. This warehouse could temporarily hold off zombies and humans. However, when awakened ones and mutated zombies showed up, it would crumple like tinfoil. Moreover, with so many resources inside, they would definitely become the target of others. It seemed that he had to take East Lake Island for himself. However, Wong Ran's current problem was that he did not have enough manpower. On the other hand, Wong Ran could not possibly feed so many mutated zombies at once. It was quite a dilemma. My house is quite close to East Lake Island. After I finish eating the food at home, I plan to go over and take a look. D*M*N. Do you want to form a team with me? Twisted Fate continued to ask. I'm sorry, I don't really like to team up with strangers. Wong Ran decisively turned the person down. During the apocalypse, no one could be trusted. Moreover, with Wong Ran's current strength, there was no need for him to form a team with others. All right, I'm Tang Tang. I hope to see everyone again. We'll meet again if it's fated. After saying that, Twisted Fate went offline. Wong Ran was not in the mood to chat with the others, so he turned the game off. East Lake Island. Wong Ran searched the internet for a while. Soon, he found the aerial map of East Lake Island. East Lake Island was about 5 kilometers away from here, which was not far. From the map, the hotel inside had already been completed, but it had not yet officially opened. The living facilities inside should be very adequate. The main point was only one bridge that was a few hundred meters long led to this island. It would be ridiculously easy to defend. After thinking for a while, Wong Ran made a decision. He should take the island as soon as possible. After the inventory check was done, he would go get some gasoline and diesel, and then it was time to set off. Master, I've completed all the tasks you've given me. This is the inventory list of the warehouse. Lin Momo had made a list. She was an intern in the warehouse, so she was very familiar with the things here. Meat, pork, beef, and chicken, a total of 6,000 kilograms. Vegetables, 2,000 kilograms. Egg, 500 kilograms. Frozen seafood, 3,000 kilograms. 500 kilograms of food with a shelf life of 10 days. 3,000 kilograms of food with a shelf life of 30 days. Wong Ran nodded in satisfaction. The list was very detailed. From the list, it could be seen that some food would still go to waste. 500 kilograms of food with a shelf life of 10 days. Wong Ran could only eat 5 kilograms a day. It would be too much for a single person. Moreover, there were 3,000 kilograms of food with a shelf life of 30 days. How could he finish it? It looked like he had to think of a way to deal with this food. He could also use it to exchange for other supplies. It was better than letting it rot in his hands. Right, I can exchange it for some gold. During the apocalypse, all currencies were defunct, and only gold was still of some worth. In many survivor camps, gold was used as the basic currency. These resources should be able to be exchanged for a lot of gold. Momo, you and Xiaoyu will mark out all the food that has a shelf life of 10 days and 30 days. If possible, try to stack them together. Wong Ran ordered. Yes, master. Lin Momo nodded and then looked at Wang Ran with a certain gaze. Wang Ran felt a chill down his spine. What are you thinking of in broad daylight? Someone is here. Master, didn't you ask Sister Xiaoyu to make the schedule? She's already done it. 1 session of feeding per day and 2 sessions of the other stuff for each person. It's my meal time now, Lin Momo said happily. All right, let's take that tent. Wang Ran sighed. This was to help them improve their strength. Wang Ran consoled himself. The two of them entered the tent hand in hand. Su Xiaoyu, on the other hand, was watching the surveillance footage from outside. Suddenly, she saw a few figures in the surveillance camera. Someone is approaching the warehouse. Master, quickly stop. Su Xiaoyu knew what was important and immediately shouted in the direction of the tent. Wang Ran looked depressed as he came out in his sleeping robe. Outside the warehouse, Wang Ran took his sword and killed a few zombies that blocked his way. Soon, he ran into the few people who had been captured by the surveillance camera. There were 8 people in the other party, and all of them looked quite strong. They did not look like ordinary survivors. Brother, is this your place? The leader of the group had dark skin and asked Wang Ran. That's right. This place is my territory, Wang Ran replied indifferently. Brother, hear me out. My name is Jang Wo, and I'm the leader of a survivor camp with a few dozen people. We have many elderly and children in our camp who need food. Can you do us a favor and give us some? Jang Wo seemed to be very polite. Jang Wo. Wang Ran was stunned. This name reverberated like thunder in the ears. If he remembered correctly, Jang Wo was the most powerful awakened in City Inn. The largest survival base in City Inn was built under his leadership. He had not expected to meet him here. From the looks of it, he had not yet awakened. However, Wang Ran was quite impressed by the fact that he had started to set up a survivor organization so early to accommodate the elderly and children. Wang Ran would have been far more selfish, even if he had his strength. Boss, why are you wasting your breath on him? There's so many of us, so why should we be afraid that we can't beat him? Do you have to be so polite? A bald man muttered. Wah, don't talk nonsense. He must have a certain level of strength to be able to occupy this place. We're here for food. Don't make any enemies. Jang Wo glared at the bald man. This bald man had been a thorn in the side since he first joined the survivor camp, and it was hard to control him. If it wasn't for the lack of manpower, Jang Wo wouldn't have wanted to take him in. I do have food, and lots of it, but I definitely won't give it to you for free. If you want food, I'll exchange it for gold, gasoline, and diesel. I'll take as much as you have, Wang Ran said indifferently. Originally, he had wanted to go out and collect these supplies himself. Now that he had met Jang Wo and the others, he could make use of his perishable food. He could remain in the warehouse and enjoy the air conditioning. Good. A fair exchange is fine. Gang Z, go to our pickup and bring us the few barrels of oil we collected. We'll just fill it up at the gas station on our way back, Jang Wo ordered. A few underlings immediately ran to the large pickup truck by the side of the road and carried 8 barrels of gasoline over. 10 liters per barrel, a total of 80 liters. How much food does that get us? Jang Wo placed the gasoline in front of Wang Ran. 80 liters. I'll give you 80 pounds of food for it, Wang Ran said after thinking for a while. There was a total of 3,500 kilograms of food with a shelf life of 30 days, which was 7,000 pounds. Only 80 pounds of food? Why don't you just rob someone? Don't you know how important gasoline is in this world? The bald man, Hua Zi, said unhappily. Gasoline is more important, sure. You can drink gasoline when you're hungry or thirsty, Wang Ran said indifferently. You King. Hua Zi grabbed his iron rod and was about to rush forward, but he was stopped by Jang Wo. Wah, don't be rash. Brother, we'll do as you say, 80 pounds of food. Jang Wo nodded. Wang Ran did not like this bald man, but he was familiar with Wu Jiangwo's character. He knew that this deal would go rather smoothly. At that moment, Su Xiaoyu ran to Wang Ran's side. "Master, do you need my help?" Su Xiaoyu asked, blinking her big eyes. "You go in and get 80 pounds of food that has a shelf life of 10 days. Wang Ran ordered. "Yes, master." Su Xiaoyu nodded obediently and ran back to the warehouse. Huazi cannot take his eyes off Su Xiaoyu. That woman, she was gorgeous, especially those long legs. He could really play with them for a year. Huazi began to have some ideas. Not long after, Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo came out with 80 pounds of food. To them, 40 pounds each was a piece of cake. "Master, we have it." The two of them placed the 80 pounds of food in front of Wang Ran. Barter trading. F***CK. Those two girls are so hot. Huazi's heart skipped a beat. One had long legs, and the other was a bombshell of a lowly. Just looking at them was enough to make people drool. If he could play with them, he would give up a huge portion of his lifespan for them. It was already the end of the world, and there were no longer any morals or laws. As long as they could take them down, wouldn't these two women be at their mercy? Of course, with Wu Jiangwo present, Huazi did not dare to have any ideas. Wu Jiangwo was too upright and stubborn, but he was also very strong. Huazi still did not dare to express his inner thoughts too much in front of him. "Brother, this food is not bad. It's very fresh. If it's possible, I hope to continue dealing with you." Wu Jiangwo extended his hand to Wong Ren. The food had a shelf life of 10 days, so of course it was fresh. Wong Ren could not wait to take it out and sell it quickly, so as not to let it rot in his hands. "No problem. Just like what I said, gold, gasoline, and diesel. You can give me as much as you have. There's a limited amount of food. We'll keep exchanging it until we're done." Wong Ren extended his hand and shook hands with Wu Jiangwo. "Okay, brother, we'll come back to you soon. Brothers, take the things in return. Let's go." Wu Jiangwo called out. The underlings went forward to pick up the food and walked toward the road. The zombies that were attracted by them were easily killed by them. This group could more than handle themselves. But even if all of them attacked together, they would still not be Wong Ran's match. No matter how powerful an ordinary person was, compared to an awakened, they were nothing. "Let's go back. Xiaoyu, I don't think I've taught you a lesson about the live broadcast just now." Wong Ren glared at Su Xiaoyu. "Ayaya, help." Su Xiaoyu stuck out her tongue and ran back to the warehouse. "Master, I'll help you move the gasoline." Lin Momo, on the other hand, was very obedient. She picked up the oil barrel at the side. "Momo is the best. After we're done moving the things, let's continue where we left off." Wong Ren touched Lin Momo's head. Lin Momo's face turned red, and she moved the oil barrels faster. On the road, Wu Jiangwo and his team had finished clearing the zombies and loaded the food into the car. This amount of food, if used sparingly, would be enough for the people in the camp for 2 days. However, he still could not take it easy. He had to continue collecting supplies tomorrow to exchange for food with Wong Ran. "Boss, there did not seem to be many people there. Why don't we just take it by force?" Huazi muttered. "Are you kidding me? I think you've taken a fancy to the girl. I'm warning you, don't go there. Although social order has collapsed, we can't give up on basic moral standards. Also, do you think that they took over that place by luck? There were more than 100 zombie bodies near the warehouse. Who do you think killed them? Didn't you see? Those two little girls carried all that weight with one hand each. Do you think they're just ordinary, weak women? From tomorrow onwards, we'll obediently maintain our relations with them. There's no shame in living within your means." Wu Jiangwo warned his underlings. After that, the group got into their cars, started the car, and drove to a primary school. The stadium, there was their base. Huazi, Gang Zi, and 2 other gangsters that Huazi had brought into the organization were in the car behind them. Damn it, he didn't take up a place with so many resources and didn't go get those beautiful chicks. Wu Jiangwo is really, Huazi complained as he smoked. "Why, you think so too? The 2 girls just now gave me a public hard-on." Gang Zi also sighed with emotion. "How about the 4 of us go for it tonight? I think there were only 3 of them. Even if there are a few more inside, we should be able to catch them by surprise." If we take up that place, we won't have to spend so much effort searching for resources outside every day. Huazi suggested. I have no problem with that. Gangzi immediately agreed. I'm fine with it too. I'll follow Brother Huazi, eat my fill, and have my way with the women. The other two hooligans also expressed their opinions. All right, we'll gather at the school gate at 1 p.m. tonight. Huazi was already fantasizing about the beautiful scene of him taking down the warehouse. After his match with Lin Momo and teaching Su Xiaoyu a lesson, Wang Ran lay on the sofa in front of the big screen and started to surf the internet. The bartering method with Jang Wo today had inspired him. The 3,500 kilograms of perishable food could be used to exchange for what they wanted. Wang Ran could even have these goods delivered to his doorstep by car. It was estimated that in a few days, the 3,500 kilograms of food would be finished. Once he was done, Wang Ran could leave this place and move to East Lake Island. A perfect plan. Wang Ran started a post on the local forum. Fresh food in exchange for gold. 6 grams of food for 1 gram of gold. Please leave your address and leave the goods at your door. First come, first served, until you finish. Although Wang Ran also needed gasoline and diesel, Jang Wo's supply should be enough. At this time, it was better to save more gold. Very quickly, there were people following Wang Ran's post. Is this a robbery? That's right. Why don't you just rob someone? 100 grams of gold is worth tens of thousands of yuan. That will only get us 600 grams of food. You're talking about 1 day's worth of food. You must be crazy. I'm up for it. I'm living in Block 22 of XXX Garden. I want to exchange for 50 kilograms. I'm living in Block 7 of the XXX Villa area. I want 30 kilograms. Are you guys stupid? You stand to lose so much. None of your business. I have a lot of gold, but there's nothing to eat at home. Do you think I can eat gold? That's right. Don't get in the way here. Hey, I'll take 50 kilos. Very quickly, the post was filled with replies. Most of them were mocking Wang Ran. Of course, there were also many people who took him up on his offer. After all, those rich people had no place to spend their money during the apocalypse. Surviving was all that mattered. Using gold to exchange for food? Of course. If Wang Ran was willing to accept luxury cars and mansions, they would definitely exchange them for them without hesitation. However, in the apocalypse, no one really had any use for these things. The streets were filled with ownerless luxury cars. Who would lack this? After reading the post, Wang Ran was elated. At night, it was time to feed again. The 2 kittens were already waiting by the side.